So the instructions say that the outside of the door to the front of the box has to be a maximum of 2 inches. And so that little crack right there is at 2 inches, so I should be within this area somewhere. And so if I go and measure 20 inches, that puts me past those little blocks, because 20 inches is the depth of the new heater from the outside to the end of those little tabs. So I got to take out those little blocks so that it can fit in there. So I got the little removal tool. Oh, probably should have used a screwdriver. That one. Oh, it broke. And this one's a little hard to see. It'll probably break too, or rip out. Then I got the handy vacuum. There, that's a lot nicer. Got the girders on the floor there, but so I gotta go grab the voltmeter so I can see if any of these wires have power. I turned the power back on, but I think they all go up to the switch up there. One probably supplies the power to the LED whenever it's on. So I'll be right back. So let's take a look at this wiring here for a second. So we got ODCC. We got 2 ODCCs and LED lamp only plus, and a 12 volts positive and a 12 volt negative, and the lamp minus. And in the book it's only got one wiring diagram. And let's see here. So it's got a switch and a lamp and 12 volts plus and minus. This is really bad instructions. Oh, the on-demand control center. Optional demand control center. So the thermostat that I got is the optional on-demand control center, so that goes to these 2 white wires, and then I gotta find a positive and a negative for these 2, and then the gas goes here. So hot up here, cold down there. Gas. And this one doesn't have a description, but I'm thinking that's the drain. Oh yeah. Condensate drain and system drain. So I probably have to hook up some hoses to those that drain out somewhere. So it looks like pretty much I connect the power and ground, and the white wires go up to the top. So I got to figure out how to trace those wires. So this one should be positive, and there should be a ground somewhere, I'm thinking, but maybe not. I don't have any way of testing where a negative is. Okay, taking off the other panel, I found a ground and a hot right there. So now I'm getting 13 volts at this yellow wire, so that's my power. So I think I need to connect those two together so that I get power down there. But then I have to find where a ground is, which is not fair. So down in here I have my 12 volt power switch, so I can hook the ground to this connector. Oh wait, no, that's just the positive side of it. I don't have a ground down here either. Nice. This is getting better. I decided what I'm going to do for power. Through that wall, there's a hole in that wall. Through that hole, on the other side is the circuit breaker where the batteries connect and the 120 volts connect. And so I'm just going to hook it up to there. That's the easiest way, and then I can just route straight over to there. These wires, I have to get up to the place where I put the thermostat, so I'll have to figure those ones out, but I should be able to just connect to these two and connect to the other ends up there. So to test the connection, I connected the red and white wires together up here with the switch so that I could turn the switch on. Then out here I set my voltmeter to make the beeping noise, and when I touch them together, lo and behold, it makes the beeping noise. So I can use those two wires for the controller. So the white wires have male connectors, so I'm going to put two female connectors on the red and white wire that go up to the thermostat spot. I like the crimpers that actually crimp good instead of the ones that just smash it. Like that. It's getting cold out here. Those wires I want back that way. So now I think I'm ready to slide this unit in so that it's in there and I can work inside the camper. This unit's a lot lighter than the other one, so it just has to go in at that spot somewhere. And that fits nicely, except for right down there. I don't know if you can see that, but right there, that little piece of trim needs to be trimmed a little more, but other than that, it looks like it's good. I can't reach those two wires back in there, so I'm gonna have to cut the white wires out of this bundle, these two zip ties, so that I can string them over that way and have the red and black wire come over this way to the circuit breaker panel over here. I might have been wrong. I think I can reach them up on the top here, right here, and now I can plug in the white wires there. I can't do the camera though, so you'll have to believe me. Next issue is my hot and cold don't line up with each other, so I'm gonna have to get some That's weird. I never noticed that there's a connector between them. I would think you would want this off so that the hot water isn't running into the cold water. But I'm gonna have to get some hoses to make it so that they line up. So for this door, the top portion of the frame is taller than the bottom portion, and the bottom portion has the little loops for the door to sit in, and then you just use 8 bolts all the way around this piece to bolt it on here. So it appears that it sits all the way down, so you don't have to like try and figure out how high to make it. I'm putting this on before I mount the furnace or the hot water heater in there, so that I know I get the hot water heater aligned properly with the exhaust vent. So in this particular kit, the screws for the frame are these large flathead screws, and then there's 5 screws for the door that are smaller. I need to drill some holes for these because there's an aluminum frame around there, and they're not going into the frame. I just wore the tip off. So I'm going to try first to drill them with a 7/64 bit, just so I can go as small as possible. Forgot to put the silicone around it. Gotta take it back out. I'm just using this Lexel stuff. It's not silicone, but it is really nasty on your fingers. It's hard to get off. Okay, that should be sealed, and hopefully there's enough space between these 2 doors to get the top door in there. And then you put a gasket around this one when you put the other door on. Nope, there's not enough space up there. That's beautiful. So I guess that means I get to figure out how to cut this plastic trim on the bottom. With it lined up, it's pretty close, so hopefully that's close enough to get the vent out. So it looks good from here. So doing a little trial fitting, the tube on the vent fits really snugly over that tube, and this gasket here has to go on here. So I'm going to mount the door on here and put this in so that I can get it in the right place, so that I know that it vents out properly. Okay. Turns out I didn't finish recording the video when I installed this, so what I did is I put the gasket around here, I put the door on and bent the little tabs around so that it would hold it in place, kind of, and then put the screws in the vent cover and put the vent on. And so now this, show back in here, I put some boards in here that, let me get the other light, to hold it in place on both sides, I think, so that it wouldn't slide back and forth, because there are only the two on the two screws on the other side. So then this closes up and slides right into place like that. And then you just take your screwdriver and put all the screws in for the door. Apparently I've lost one of the screws. There we go. Now we'll go inside and take a look at what went on in there.
Okay.
Okay, so I got some sink hose and hooked it up to the cold and the hot lines right here, and then have those running to the inlet and outlet on the hot water heater. I screwed it down with the two screw places. I haven't put the drain line in yet, and then if you look back inside here, so this line right here, can you see that? That copper line, that's the gas line right there going up here. So I got that connected with it had the 90 on it, and it had the correct fitting on there, so I could just plug it in the way it was. And then this power hot plus and minus,
where what?
Right here, the plus and minus power 12 volts goes across here into the circuit panel and hooks up to the one of the circuit breakers. And then up on the wall here, thermostat for the hot water heater, and we keep it set at 107 degrees, so when you're using the hot water it just is a nice temperature for hot water. You don't usually have to use the cold with it, so you can just adjust it up and down, maybe. Oh, I guess 107 is as hot as it goes.
Yeah, I thought we had it hotter at one time.
I don't think so. So there you have it. It works pretty good. It makes hot water within a couple seconds of turning it on, maybe 30 seconds.
30 seconds, yeah.
And then we just take a shower with it set to whatever temperature, and it's got hot water the whole time. And you don't have to turn the hot water tank on, wait 30 minutes for a 3-minute shower. This way you can use as much water as you want.